Holiday homes set to boom. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. I'm Florian Heise, and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. I'm working through my morning stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from the ABC, because frankly it seems comical to me. Holiday homes tipped to be the next real estate boom. Is this before or after the boom for the mining homes? Continues. Before we get into this, what do you think, guys? Do you think holiday homes are going to be the next opportunity, the next big boom? I just think back to the investments my parents made. We, lived in Victoria, and they invested in a, townhouse in Noosa, and I don't think that ever boomed. The only money my father made on that was holidays to Noosa. But yeah, let me know. Perhaps you have made or had different experiences. I'm just thinking of the Gold Coast and all the apartments for sale down there. So holiday homes are set to boom, guys. We've heard it here first. If you've ever dreamed of buying a holiday home or making a tree or sea change, now might be the time to make that purchase, according to several leading property analysts. This will be good. As property prices in the bigger capital cities start to jump again, the growth is also starting to be felt in regional areas. Is it? Depends on the media outreach. And remember, this growth is only in the top quartile, guys. Property analysis firm CoreLogic's latest number crunching shows home prices in 25 of the 42 regional areas in Australia rose in the 3 months to November. Much of that extra cash is going towards desirable tree or sea changes, observed Tim Lawless, CoreLogic's head of research. A lot of equity is going into these lifestyle markets, he explained. Well, I guess if you're gonna cash out from your inner city lifestyle and go for a green or tree or a sea change, makes sense. Either as holiday homes, as permanent residences, or for retirement options. Now, the retirement options, I think, is the interesting takeaway here. Follow the boomers, guys. Follow the boomers, that huge population group. What are they? They're going to slowly start retiring. What's going to happen? Follow them. He said price growth is being felt in once struggling regional areas. Take Cairns in far north Queensland, for example. Okay, guys, so if we've got anyone viewing from Cairns, let us know what your experience on the ground is. Has it surged? Its housing market peaked in 2008 and has struggled for more than a decade, with prices only now starting to turn a corner. Well, look at that. We're at 2020 in a couple of days. Look at that change, guys. How long it's taken. But now it's turning a corner. Do you think it's sustainable? It was once known as a tourist destination. It still is. But it's gone through a very prolonged period of weakness, said Mr. Lawless. It's only recently just started to see values turning around. CoreLogic data show property prices in the Cairns region have risen 2.9% in the past 12 months. Local agent Carl Latham said he's only starting to see marginal growth after significant declines in the first 6 months of 2019. So, only starting to see marginal growth. Let's just bring up some data here. GDP growth is still growing, but it's trending down. It's going to be worse in the regions. Cairns is one of the far north Queensland towns with all the mining. And I'll bring up Google Earth Pro, and we'll look at that in a moment, just to look at the number of mines that were around or inland from Cairns, and we can get an understanding of the influence that has had on the housing market there. Because, sure, it's a tourism destination, guys. It's a tourism destination. And I've got my diamond mines up, and someone shared an article yesterday that diamond mining is pretty much coming to an end in Australia next year. So we'll have a look here. We'll go to places. Charter Towers. Come on. I should be able to find Cairns, shouldn't I? I'll have to type it in. I'll have to type it in, guys. Oh, yeah, okay. It's a bit... I'm looking around Townsville. I'm looking around Townsville. So we'll turn off places. So we can see, as we're going on here, it would be servicing some of the mines up here and be a jump point to Weipa. But yeah, I can see it wouldn't have gotten as much as some of the others. Honestly, I can appreciate why more investment would have gone down into Townsville and Gladstone and some of the other Mackay as well. It's southern here, servicing these areas here. So I can see how it's, maybe I'm not surprised. Its market has been subdued for a while. So let's jump back here. I've seen a positive rise in October to November, so it's shaping up to be a decent last quarter, he observed. He said, while it does not feel like the market is about to boom, the mood has changed. The mood has changed. Perhaps that's just a response to the media, to everything that people are getting fed in the media, to, oh, it's turning around, seeing, oh, Sydney's booming, it's booming, interest rates are so low. Maybe that's why. Maybe people are jumping on it while they can. At the beginning of the year, it was certainly a buyer's market. Right now, it's more reasonably balanced, he added. People looking for the next best option. North Queensland is not the only regional market turning around. West and Northwest Tasmania has jumped 5.9% to the Warrnambool and Southwest region of Victoria is up 4.5%. Mackay Isaac Whitsunday region in Queensland has risen 2.9% over the past 12 months. Well, think about it. Just, from my perspective, in an area here, you could work remotely, but for me, it'd be access to services. I'm sure you could still get a fair bit here in Cairns. I'm sure the kids could do their dancing, they could do all the stuff up here. You get the nice beach, you get a green change. I had friends who went regional. So a lot of the North Queensland, a lot of the towns here have trouble getting architects or trouble getting architecture students. And there was a big push to get them to work regional, to go for a sea change or a tree change up north. And I know people who've done it, who've headed up there, and there was work, it was keeping them busy. When times are good, it's fantastic. Cost of housing is cheaper, quality of life is fantastic. So I can appreciate why now might be a time for people to jump on it. And I wouldn't call it a housing. If you have NBN and you work remotely, what's stopping you? So that regional growth is tipped to continue its upward trajectory, according to Select Residential Property Group. It has listed its top 20 holiday spots around the country that are primed for growth in the next 3 years. Ultimately, if people are finding areas unaffordable, they've got to look at the next best option, and a lot of people are making choices around the quality of life that they want to live, said Select Residential Property Research Group Director Ben Kingsley. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Top of its list is East Ballina in northern New South Wales, where Select Residential Property tips values to jump 27.8% within the next 3 years. David Mills, the principal of McGrath Estate Agents in Ballina, said he is seeing growth pick up already. When you look at the numbers, they're definitely on the increase, he observed. The value of properties his agency has sold in the first half of this financial year are up 13.2% higher than last year. The last time we saw an increase at that level would have been 2007 to 2009, he added. So regional purchasers are motivated by fear. Mr. Mills, who has been selling property in the Ballina region for more than 20 years, said the area is becoming increasingly popular with people looking to move out of the larger cities. The amount of people who register for Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane for regular alerts about property on the market has increased, he told ABC News. They're more motivated by fear. It's not a matter of waiting to see if their property in Sydney sells. It's more about buying now and putting a tenant in place because they're already seeing the prices here escalate pretty quickly. Down on the New South Wales-Victorian border, Albury, Wodonga real estate agent Michael Giorgio has been selling houses in the Twin Cities for more than 40 years. Select Residential Property predicts prices in West Wodonga to go up 24.2% in the next 3 years. There's strong growth in the area, he said. 24.2% sounds optimistic. I hope they're right. But based on the last 5 years, that growth has been 13.8%. He recently sold a home in West Wodonga to a couple relocating for their retirement for $750,000, more than twice the median price of $344,000. That's, well, look at the house. Look at the house. Still, it's a lot of money. But then again, if they're selling out in the city, retiring out here, nice single-story home, a lot of space. Get away from some of the issues that you have in certain suburbs in Melbourne. Is that another reason? Will that be driving more people out? They bought a nice property on 6,000 square meters, elevated on a hill with a view. Well, there we go. We know what they're paying for. A shed so they can have a bit of a tinker with an old car and a swimming pool, and the property backs onto a reserve with a modern-style home, he explained. Well, let's just hope the reserve is maintained properly. For his clients, and for many making the sea or tree change, price is a big determining factor. For $750,000, you're buying a nice property, which would not get you a terrace in inner city Melbourne or Sydney. Well, yeah, that's the difference. You get a crappy apartment for that money in Sydney. One bedroomers are going for that. Look how you could live there. And if your work is remote, why not? Or if you're retiring, why not? The only issue is access to services, particularly healthcare. But you're healthy and you're fit. Makes a lot of sense. You get excellent value for money in a fantastic lifestyle location. I think that's what's driving it. Well, see, value for money, it's all relative. $750,000 may seem like a fantastic price to someone who's been living in Melbourne and can sell their property for a whole heap. But for the neighbour up the road who's only got a $344,000 home, they're thinking, wow, that's a mansion, that's expensive. It's all relative. It's not just retirees moving out of the city taking advantage of regional prices. People traditionally might have holidayed along somewhere like the Murray River or found a location beachside and then asked themselves, does the congestion and busyness of the city deliver them a lifestyle that they're enjoying, or does it just deliver a means to an end? Mr. Kingsley said. I think we're starting to see a little bit more of this starting to show up as people make those choices in terms of what they want to grow up and the lifestyle they want to have for their children. Well, guys, what do you think about this take? What do you think? I can't say I'm surprised in some regards. If these markets haven't experienced the huge pump of Sydney or Melbourne, and then people start selling out there and then start relocating, there's going to be some more demand for the property. So while these 20% increases may sound crazy, if you're talking about Melbourne or Sydney, maybe there might be enough demand for people relocating to these locations, because 20% of $300,000 is not the same as 20% of 1.2 million, is it? What do you think, guys? Would you invest in this? Or do you think more and more people will be stepping out and looking for a green or a sea change? Frankly, it looks very appealing to me. But Rachel loves living in the city. It's great. Anyway, guys, let me know your opinion. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're a fan of the channel and want to help us produce more, we have a Patreon where you can make a small monthly donation. We also have a independent reserve, Amazon, and eBay affiliate links where we receive a small commission when you make a transaction. And finally, we sell our very own merch on the Heise blog. Thank you all for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.